Car start for the Heat 3 of this qualification event, and of course this sees out for the first time Craig Cheetham, Clive Reynolds, Sage Davis and Vince Davis, Reg and Colin Blackburn, Len Foreman, with of course the change of passenger, not Lisa Pinfold, Justin Westerway passengering, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires, Pete Goodwin and Carl Pugh. So those are the first six that go, and of course all of them would love to get through for tomorrow's event. Anxiously look across to that start line. The starter moves away, the tapes, well, they went up, but straight away the starter indicating that looked to be an unfair start. The green flag being raised once again, waiting for the five outfits to come into line. The tapes go this time and we get a clean start as they get underway. Terry Phillips from the inside has made a terrific start. Sage Davis is up there with him, and in fact Reg Blackburn has missed the start, so we've only got four outfits going into that first bend. Craig Cheetham up in third place at the moment, but as they come round past us for the first time, it's Terry Phillips and Chris Spires that are making the best of the running into this top bend for the first time. Craig Cheetham trying to work his way through, holds a much tighter line than Sage Davis, and there's all sorts of problems for Reg Blackburn. You can see Colin desperately trying to work on the engine as they come past us, but a great scrap going on for this second place. Craig Cheetham and Clive Reynolds. There's problems to Sage Davis. His outfit momentarily stops in the middle of the bend. Len Foreman comes through and takes advantage of that and gets up into third place. Justin Westow looking over his shoulder, knows that probably Sage will be coming back in him, and look at Craig Cheetham trying to catch up on Terry Phillips. Terrific ride from Craig Cheetham, and he finds a gap and goes through. Terry Phillips tries to tuck back underneath, hoping of course that Craig will go wide on the exit of the bend, but Craig Cheetham has got the power on and he now stays in front as he goes into the last lap, into that pit bend for the last time. Terry Phillips again closes up on him, but he's down this back straight that Craig Cheetham looked very quick, and as he accelerates down the back straight, it looks as if the gaps are starting to open. Good start to this qualifying for Craig Cheetham and Clive Reynolds as they come around off that top end. They're going to see the checker flag this time, and they're going to take a heat win. So maximum points from their first ride for Craig Cheetham and Clive Reynolds. A winning time for Heat 3 as it is in your programme, the first of the sidecars, 129.32. 129.32 that winning time. It means a heat win obviously for Craig Cheetham. In second place, number 5, Terry Phillips. In third place, number 2, Adrian Davis. Fourth place goes to Len Foreman, and fifth place, Reg Blackburn. Your points should read from the top 6, 4, 2, 3 and 5. So maximum points there for outfit number 1, Craig Cheetham and Clive Reynolds. Well, as we look to the second heat for the sidecars, Heat 4 as it is in this qualifying event, we've got riding number 7, Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. Number 8 is Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew. Number 9 is Mark Surrocks and Rob Surrocks. Number 10, Brett Osborne and Morris Cooper. Number 11, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. And number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. It is Tim Bennett, in fact, who's the last to come into line. Go, a much cleaner start this time. Tim Bennett's made a good start from the centre. Richard Thomas on the far outside has made the best of the start, so Duncan Tolhurst coming through on the inside. Mick Cave right up there as well as they go into that first bend, but it's Richard Thomas is gone very wide. Duncan Tolhurst has made much tighter, but Richard Thomas has kept the lead. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley then lead into that pit bend as they go in there for the first time. Duncan Tolhurst puts it almost sideways, recovers from that, but he certainly held up Mick Cave when it's slow coming into that bend. Mick Cave heads down though in third place, goes after Duncan Tolhurst. Around this top bend for the second time, and again Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley have gone wide. They're keeping the power on, but they're going to have to be careful as they leave those sort of gaps as the race continues. Oh, Duncan Tolhurst starting to try and close. He looks certainly quicker down that back straight, but Richard Thomas has got Brett Osborne and Morris Cooper as they pull off the third in front of us. Interestingly again, Richard Thomas has gone wide, but Duncan Tolhurst has not been able to take advantage of it. Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew working hard in that third place, making sure that something's just not getting away from them. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley with no answer to at the moment, and there goes the checkered flag, and Richard Thomas takes the heat win. Duncan Tolhurst in second place, Mick Cave finishing in third, and Tim Bennett in fourth place. The sidecar heats and a win for outfit number 11, that's Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. Maximum points to them. In second place, number 7, Duncan Tolhurst. In third place, number 8, Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew. In fourth place, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In fifth place, Mark and Rob Sarax, and no finish there for Brett Osborne and Morris Cooper. The points for Heat 4 from the top should read 5, 4, 2, 0, 6 and 3. The winning time 128.10. 128.10. Sidecar start line once again. We see in action Craig Cheatham, who picked up maximum points for his first ride. Out there with him is Reg Blackburn, who are desperately trying to get some more points this time, obviously suffering with mechanical problems first time out, only picking up 2 points. Terry Phillips, rise number 5, he got 5 points with a second place. Duncan Tolhurst, who also got a second place and 5 points. Mark and Rob Sarax, and of course Richard Thomas, who had the win also first time out. So a cracking race 7, the third of the qualifying heats for the sidecars. They all really could take points off each other in this one. On that start line, the starter not happy with somebody touching the tape, so an outfit being pushed back. Well, of course, they do get away as we cross that far side, and indeed we only have got 4 outfits, but as they get to that first corner, it is Duncan Tolhurst that's got to the front. Richard Thomas is right there with him now. Remember that Richard Thomas was out with Duncan Tolhurst first time. Terry Phillips has come through on the inside of Craig Cheatham, and both of them have gone through on the inside of Richard Thomas. So it looked a good one on paper. It's turned out to be exactly that. A terrific scrap between these 4 crews. I did mention they could all take points off each other, and Duncan Tolhurst knew that. He's got away and got up in front. Terry Phillips closing up on him as he goes into top bend. Craig Cheatham closes on the back of Terry, and Richard Thomas has got a tight line this time. That's a much better line from Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. That's gone up into third place as they try to go through for second as well. They lock it sideways. Craig Cheatham comes through on the inside of them. A terrific scrap between these 3 crews. Duncan Tolhurst, of course, has got the luxury of getting away from these 3 and has got it all to himself at the moment, because there's a real scrap going on for this second, third and fourth place. Oh, Richard Thomas again has gone on the inside line. He's right up there on the inside on Terry Phillips this time. Oh, what will happen on this top bend? This is where he locked it up last time, but he's got through on the inside of Terry Phillips. He's done extremely well on that pit bend. He managed to lock it sideways, but he's kept the power on going down the back straight. So he moves up into second. Craig Cheatham disappointingly back in 4th place at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see how these points work out to get them through to the final. But as the checkered flag goes, Duncan Tolhurst gets maximum points. Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley get second. Terry Phillips in third, and Craig Cheatham in 4th. Result of race 7, heat 3 of the sidecar qualification. A winning time of 128.89. 128.89, and that was a win for outfit number 7, Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. In second place, number 11, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. In third place, number 5, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. In fourth place, number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. So it's maximum points for Duncan Tolhurst. That gives him 6, an overall total of 11 points. Finishing in third place and picking up 4 points, that's Terry Phillips, a total of 9 overall. Craig Cheatham, of course, getting that win first time out with 3 points from that second ride. He finishes on 9 overall as well, as we turn our attention to race 8, the last of the qualifying rides for the sidecars.
The runners for the solo final, Jim, are as follows. Number 1, Lee Lanham. Number 2, Christophe Martin. Number 5, Torsten Curl. Number 6, Steve Dorr. Number 7, Mitchell Godden. Number 8, Gary Lobb. Number 9, Scott Nichols. Number 10, Robert Kessler. And that completes the field. Remember, the points do not count in the final.
So away we go with this, the last of the qualifying rides for the sidecars, and Adrian Davis has made a terrific start. Tim Bennett with a much better start this time. He's up in second place. Mick Cave up in the third spot as they go into that first corner. And Mick Cave closing right up on Tim Bennett, who holds a very tight line. But it is Sage and Vince Davis that have got to the front. Good to see that Pete Goodwin is back out there. Problems for Carl in that first one, I think, but good to see they're both back out there. Mick Cave moves through on the inside of Tim Bennett to get up into second place on that pit bend. And as we look to the top corner, Vince Davis in the lead. They've gone extremely wide. Mick Cave tries to hold a much tighter line. Tim Bennett still there in third place. There's problems for Len Foreman. He pulls out in front of us with mechanical problems, but a good ride this from Sage Davis. He picked up a third spot first time out, so he knows a good result here will get him to the final. He's gone very wide, but he sees that last lap flag. Mick Cave closing all the time. Mick Cave throws it in very hard into this pit bend, looking to get the tighter exit on the far side, and he gets the tighter exit, and he's much closer this time, and he's got a gap on the inside. He moves through. Sage Davis knows that he's coming through quickly. He'll try and get back underneath him again in that top end, and that's exactly what he's done. He's going to be close to the line, but it's Mick Cave that takes it. Sage Davis gets second. Tim Bennett gets his third place back again, and Pete Goodwin in fourth. The official result of Heat 8 for the sidecars, it was a winning time of 1:30.82, and that win was for outfit number 8, Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew. That gives them the maximum 6 points, finishing in second place. Outfit number 2, Sage Davis and Vince Davis. They get the 5 points from that heat. Third place goes to number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. Fourth place, the only other finisher there too, number 6, Pete Goodwin and Carl Pugh. So we now quickly add up all those points. It looks to me like there's an awful lot on 9 points. I'm quickly handed the official score chart, and that gives me 9 points for number 1, 9 points for number 2, 9 points also for number 5, 11 points for number 7, 10 points for number 8, 11 points for number 11. And those indeed are the qualifiers for the final. So going in that sidecar final are number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. Number 2, Adrian Davis and Vince Davis. Number 5, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. Number 7, Duncan Tolhurst and passenger Paul Baisby. Number 8, Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew. And I just wonder how many people actually got it right and got the right qualifiers going through. Well, that I'll never know, but we look to the sidecars, and going in this final is number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. Number 2, Sage Davis and Vince Davis. Number 5, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. Number 7, Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. Number 8, Mick Cave and Dean Bartholomew. And number 11, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. So looking for a first 4th place, that will get them through to tomorrow's event. 1st, 2nd, 3rd or 4th, but there's 6 that could definitely go through. Problems again on that sidecar start line. I can see that Adrian Davis has broken away from the start. He now comes back into position. Starter not happy. He now moves away. So happy. The tapes, they didn't go up. But Ray Cheatham got the best of the start. Entry into the International Ace of Aces for 1995. Starters again move away, the tapes go up and we get a much cleaner start this time. Look at who's made the best of it. It's Richard Thomas and Terry Phillips together as they go down that back straight. Richard Thomas on the outside, Terry Phillips on the inside. It's getting very, very close for that third, fourth and fifth. Remember, it's fourth place that is perhaps the most important place of all. Now Richard Thomas loses out but going wide on that first bend. Mick Cave has moved through on the inside. Terry Phillips has still got to the front and Richard Thomas goes after him as they go down that back straight. Sage Davis it is that's moved through on the inside and got up into second. Mick Cave is in that very important fourth place at the moment. Then look to that top bend. I think all of them want to win it by getting the top place through to tomorrow. Terry Phillips and Chris Spires going well to get to the front again as they go into this top bend. Sage Davis slides wide in this pit bend and Richard Thomas comes through on the inside. Sage crosses over again and comes through on the inside. Mick Cave now starts to get close to Richard Thomas. So the four of them again will come together in this top bend and Terry Phillips might actually get away with the scrap that's going on behind him. All sorts of problems for Mick Cave on that top bend. And now you can see that Duncan Tolhurst has got back into the action. Duncan Tolhurst has closed right up on Mick Cave and gone round the outside. Oh, Duncan Tolhurst on the outside of Mick Cave. That's the scrap for qualification automatically for tomorrow. Terry Phillips, of course, where if he stays where he is going to be safe. The others still fighting out in this last bend. As they come to the line, it's going to be very, very close. Terry Phillips takes it. Duncan Tolhurst, in fact, finishes in second place. Richard Thomas in third. Well, what an incredible ride for Duncan Tolhurst. It looked as if he was out of it, but just in one lap he goes from fifth to second.
The one in the dark, the white helmet, he was so powered up and thought it, shut everybody down.
Well, indeed, a terrific sidecar race to finish our racing here this afternoon, but doesn't that well and truly set the scene for tomorrow? Well, if you were wondering about the circuit, it's been proved this afternoon. We have a fantastic race circuit here. The official race result of that sidecar final, a winning time of 1:31.59. 1:31.59 that time, but a win overall for outfit number 5. That, of course, is Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. Finishing in second place, incredibly, was Duncan Tolhurst, outfit number 7. That's Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. In third place, number 11, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. Fourth place finisher there was number 2, Sage Davis and Vince Davis. And fifth place, the only other finisher, Mick Cave and passenger Dean Bartholomew. That is your qualifiers for tomorrow. The first 4 automatically go into the lineup. Mick Cave will, of course, be the first reserve. Well, you've seen all the professional introductions. We've been through some of these world-class riders that we got here this afternoon. Now I think the first thing I've got to do is warn Teresa and Michelle that this is where the fun starts. Now you are meeting some of the bravest drivers in the world on 1000cc sidecars. We start, of course, with last year's winners. They are, of course, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. To them, what you can obviously say is one of the most successful crews this year. They won the British Masters yet again. They won this event back in 1987 and would love to do it again. It is, of course, Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. I'm not hearing much cheering. I don't think there's many supporters here this afternoon. Well, we should get a big cheer for this one because they're back again. They told us they'd given up, but they have returned. Rustling and Paul Urich. Riding number 4 this afternoon, a man that's been in the world of grass track for many, many years, still a very strong competitor. He won this event in 1990. It's Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. We move on to outfit number 5 and very new to the Ace of Aces. They're going extremely well this year, Rob and Chris Winterburn. Oh, this could be dangerous. Roscoe's been told to take control of Teresa and Michelle. This could be dangerous. You're supposed to move them on, Roscoe. You're not meant to leave them hanging on the shoulders. Riding number 6 this afternoon, a very, very quick competitor. It is, of course, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Another crew that are very new to the Ace of Aces. He's an ex-solo rider, now riding the chairs. It is, of course, Rob Bradley and Jeff Bradley. Now this is what I was trying to warn you of, girls. This is where it starts to get dangerous. Riding number 8, the up-and-coming youngsters, of course, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. You've got 1 or 2 supporters out there, I think, Mark. Crew number 9, they worked all night to get that engine into the outfit after blowing it up yesterday. Dave Steer and Andy Orchard.
Did you get here yesterday? You're right.
Now we start to get the cheers from all those down in the West Country as I introduce to you rider number 10, Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons. Outfit number 11, we move back a little bit more local, and I'm sure we're going to get a big cheer for this one, Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kensington. Well, you've got plenty of time this time because I've got to do probably the biggest introduction now, because by far they have the best record in the Ace of Aces. They won it in 92, 84, 89 and 93. It is, of course, Steve Smith, and for this event, Mick Stace in the chair. Who? Well, not usually seen this outfit riding number 14. They were second in 1992. I've always wanted to improve on that. John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Well, very, very pleased to see this crew here. They were up on the rostrum last year, and I'm sorry to say had an unfortunate accident at Speedway a week ago, but great to see they're competing. John Hiscock and Matt Sleep. Now our qualifiers from yesterday's event, and that's getting into the event the hard way. The winners of the final yesterday, Terry Phillips and Chris Myers. Outfit number 17 is a crew that have promised me the speed they found in the last lap of the final they're going to keep up for every single lap today. Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. Riding number 18, a little tumble in practice, but they don't look any worse the wear for it. Richard Thomas and Kerry Woodley. And of course, as with the solo field, we do have our 2 reserve crews. I should say, first of all, I've got to introduce number 19, Adrian Davis and Vince Davis. 2 additions come into this race. Obviously, we gave them to you as qualifiers from yesterday. Number 16 is, of course, Terry Phillips, passengered by Chris Spires. And number 17 is Duncan Tolhurst, passengered by Paul Baisby. Now, those 2 outfits obviously have had experience of racing here yesterday. They know the measure of the circuit. Rustling, as we've been continually saying, the birthday boy is on the fastest time for the lap times we were taking in practice. So many people, I'm sure, are as pleased as I am to see Russell back out there again. And Dave Steer, of course, having completely changed the engine overnight from practicing here yesterday, pleased to say does join the lineup. So we start with the first race for the sidecars. Race 5 in your programme, as Tony's mentioned, sponsored by Mick Potter. And away we go. It's a good clean start. We look across that far side. It's Rustling that's made the start. Phil Pittman is right there with him as they go into that first bend. But Russell it is that noses out in front as they go into that first turn. And Rustling still with the lead. Phil Pittman right there with him. But it is Rustling the lead's coming past me for the first time. Alan Blewett goes round the outside of Phil Pittman going into this pit bend. Terry Phillips is right up there with them as well. So Phil Pittman got a challenge coming from the outside and the inside. But Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons hold that second, or do they? Alan Blewett goes down the outside and gets up into second, but at the moment it's still Rustling and Paul Urich to the leading as they come off that top end, opening up quite a gap now on second place, which is turning out to be a great dice between Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf, who've just got second from Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons. Phil Pitman looking to hold a very tight line on that pit bend, but it's down that back straight that Alan Blewett gets the advantage. Into the top bend they go for this, the entry to the last lap, or the first race in the afternoon for the sidecars. And I'm anxiously watching to see if Dave Steer can move his way through. He's in fourth place at the moment. It goes for third as he goes round that top bend. Oh, we know of old that Dave Steer is a terrific tight line rider. And we wonder, will he make a challenge? But Phil Pitman's not happy with that. He's coming back at Dave Steer. But as we look to see the first checkered flag for the sidecars, it's going to be a win. And a return to racing for Russelling and Paul Urich. Alan Blewett gets that second place. Very, very close for third on the line, but what a terrific start to the day for the Russelling fans. Of the sidecars, and a win for outfit number 3, it's Russelling and Paul Urich. In second place, outfit number 4, Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. Third place, number 9, Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. In fourth place, number 10, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons. In fifth place, number 16, that's Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. And in sixth place, number 17, Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. The winning time there, 1:26.14, 1:26.14, that's the time we've got to watch as we go through the rest of these first leg rides. The additional rider to put in, that's number 19, that's Adrian Davis and Vince Davis. Adrian and Vince come in from that qualifier yesterday. And we see for the first time Rob Bradley, John Hiscock, John Halsey, Rob Winterburn and Mark Edwards. So as we look across that far side, we wait for the start of race 6. I can see that Mark Edwards has got that outside gate. So we try and keep an eye on that as the racing goes on through the day to see whether there is any advantage to gate positions. Of course, these clutch starts so very, very important in this short track racing. Looking to see who's made the best of it. John Halsey's certainly had a very good start. Rob Bradley is right up there with him, and it is indeed Rob and Jeff Bradley that have got to that first bend, but Mark Edwards flying around the outside as they go into that first turn. Rob moves out slightly, allows John Halsey to find a way through on the inside. Mark Edwards still challenging back there in fourth place. And as they all group together coming round that pit bend, it's Rob Bradley that's still got the lead, but John Halsey comes underneath him going down that back straight. Terrific exit from that pit bend for John Halsey and Jason Glennie. But Rob Bradley has come back in him again, trying to go around the outside on this top corner. Terrific sidecar scrap we've got in this one. As indeed they go into the pit bend. Rob Bradley still with the lead. John Halsey again trying to fight back for it as he took the advantage going down that back straight, but Rob Bradley's wise to him this time. John Hiscock and Matt Sleep right up there in third place. Rob Winterburn in fourth at the moment. Mark Edwards back in fifth. But as we go into the last lap, this is a terrific start to the day for Rob Bradley and Jeff Bradley. Their first time in the Ace of Aces. And what a good show they're putting up at the moment, showing exactly why they felt they were justified coming into this entry. Rob and Chris Winterburn going well as well. Their first time in the Aces. John Halsey, he knew nothing about Rob Bradley at the moment as they come round off that top end. It's going to be a win for Rob and Jeff Bradley. They take it. John Halsey and Jason Glennie get second. Rob and Chris Winterburn get third place. John Hiscock in fourth and Mark Edwards back in fifth. A win for outfit number 7, that's Rob Bradley and Jeff Bradley. In second place, number 14, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In third place, number 5, Rob and Chris Winterburn. In fourth place, number 15, John Hiscock and Matt Sleep. In fifth place, number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. Sixth place, number 19, Adrian and Vince Davis. The winning time, 1:28.46. 1:28.46, that winning time. So we turn our attention to race 7. This is the third of the sidecars. And what a lineup we've got for race 7. Number 18, of course, is Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. But coming to that line is Roger Misa and Shane Lapham. Rob Wilson and passenger, of course, Tony Miles, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones, Royce Bredbury and Steve Kensington, Steve Smith, and of course we must remember today Mick Stace in the chair for Steve. So very important that the riders get a good result first time out. But as we look across that far side, Ivor Matthews has made a good start, but it's Roger Misa that's got his outfit in front as he gets halfway down the straight. Richard Thomas is right up there in second place, but it is Roger Misa that's got to the front as they go into that first turn. Richard Thomas goes wide, he's allowed Steve Smith and Ivor Matthews to come through on the inside of him. Oh, Richard Thomas comes back at Ivor Matthews, but Ivor holding a very, very tight line. Drives hard underneath Steve Smith, but Steve Smith with the advantage going down that back straight. But it is Roger Misa and Shane Lapham, our British Masters title holders for 1995, who've got the lead at the moment as they come off that top turn. Steve Smith up in second place. Had such a good history with this event. The only driver to have won this Ace of Aces title 4 times, and he'd love to make it a 5th this afternoon. As he goes down the back straight, he's starting to close up on Roger Misa. The gaps, I'm sure you can see on the far side, have started to close. Roger Misa now knows that Steve Smith is there, and Steve gets a much better line on that top end. They go into the last lap, and Roger Misa going for the faster, wider lines. Cuts back across on that pit bend. Ivor Matthews is not far away from those two either. As they go down the back straight, Steve Smith has got that inside line again. He's going to go through on the inside. Terrific ride from Steve Smith and Mick Stace. Now I've got to try and hold it tight as Roger Misa will come back at them as they come to the line. But it's going to be a win for Steve Smith. Roger Misa takes second. Ivor Matthews takes third place. Rob Wilson in fourth. Richard Thomas in fifth. But what a tremendous sidecar race it looked in prospect, and it turned out to be exactly that. For outfit number 12, that is of course Steve Smith and Mick Stace. In second place, number 2, Roger Misa and Shane Lapham. In third place, number 1, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. In fourth place, number 6, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. And fifth place, number 18, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. Sixth place there, number 11, Royce Bredbury and Steve Kensington. And that winning time, 1:24.22. 1:24.22, that winning time. One of the second place finishers, or is somebody else going to upset things and make this points competition very interesting indeed? John Halsey, of course, had a terrific ride first time. Roger Misa was beaten by Steve Smith, so both of those crews will be anxious to get a race win this second time out. Starter does pull them into line, up go the tapes, and away we go once again, looking to see who's made the best of the starts. And across that far side, it is Alan Blewett that's made the best of the starts. He gets to that first bend in first place, and Roger Misa follows them in second. Rob Wilson up there on the inside of Roger Misa, comes through as he comes down past us. Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf, it is so they've got the lead. Roger Misa forced to go very wide. That leaves a gap for Rob Wilson to come through. And as Roger Misa finds a gap on the inside of Alan Blewett, he now moves through into the lead. Alan Blewett then in second place, but under pressure from Rob Wilson straight away as they go into that top bend. Roger Misa and Shane Lapham in front where they were in their first heat. Of course, they were caught in that first heat. Rob Wilson has moved up in a second. John Halsey now starting to move up as well, looking to get up into that third spot. But Alan Blewett fighting back and hangs on to it at the moment. So Roger Misa exactly where he wanted to be. He knows that it was second place first time out. He'll want to get a win this time, and Rob Wilson not letting him get away. Scrap developing for this third place as John Halsey closes right up on Alan Blewett. Much tighter line this time from Alan Blewett, but he's drifted wide on the exit of the bend. John Halsey looks for the gap, but himself loses that back wheel, loses drive, and lets Alan Blewett go away from him again. So it'll be the checkered flag this time as they come round, but this is the first of the second leg rides, and it's a win for Roger Misa and Shane Lapham. Rob Wilson gets that second place, and John Halsey, I think, just squeezed through to get that third place. Prize for the sidecars, a win for outfit number 2, Roger Mesa and Shane Lapham. In second place, number 6, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In third place, number 14 was John Halsey and Jason Glennie, and in fourth place, number 4, Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. Fifth place then, number 16, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires, and sixth place, number 18, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. The winning time, 125.80, 125.80 that winning time. Today, because they qualified through for the event today. And then, of course, as we look to the previous first leg results, what an interesting race 13 proves to be. Rustling, who had a win first time out, is up against Rob Bradley, who also had a heat win. We've then got Rob Winterburn, Ivor Matthews and Dave Steer, all who had third places first time out. Interested once again to see whether that start does give any of these crews any advantage, either being on the inside or the outside. Both Rustling and Rob Bradley had terrific starts first time out. And away we go. It's Ivor Matthews who looks to have got the best of the brakes this time, but here comes Rustling on the inside of him. Rustling and Paul Urich it is that have got to the first bend, but they've got Ivor Matthews right on the outside of them. Ivor Matthews tries to turn in hard as they come out of that first bend. Well, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones it is that have got to the front, but Rustling is right there with them. Roy Spreadbury is up in third place at the moment, Rob Winterburn holding fourth, Dave Steer trying to work his way through, and at the moment Rob Bradley right at the back of the field. So a complete change from that first leg ride, but a much better ride this time for Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. They lead quite comfortably now as they come down past us. Rustling and Paul Urich still there in second. Fight developing now for this third place as Dave Steer tries to find a way through, and now Rob Bradley has got going as he's got a fight on his hands with Rob and Chris Winterburn. So all the changing going on further down the field. Roy Spreadbury has pulled out, so Dave Steer moves up into third place. Ivor Matthews still leading, and it's opened up quite a gap between him and Rustling. Rustling has now got Dave Steer closing down on him. Dave Steer looks to find a way through. He sees a gap on the inside, and through goes Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. Rustling drifting out slightly on that fifth bend. Dave Steer taking full advantage of it, but it's going to be first heat win for Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. Last year's winners, of course. They'll be pleased to take a heat win. Dave Steer and Andy Orchard get second. Rustling and Paul Urich get third. Rob and Chris Winterburn in fourth, and a very disappointing fifth for Rob Bradley and Jeff Bradley. Transport a win for outfit number 1, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. In second place, number 9, Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. In third place, number 3, Rustling and Paul Urich. In fourth place, number 5, Rob and Chris Winterburn. And fifth place, outfit number 7, Rob and Jeff Bradley. The winning time, 125.39. 125.39 that winning time. We've got out on the start line, and as we look through the lineup for race 14, sponsored by Square Deal Caravans, Steve Smith goes in this one. He's in grid 3. He had a win first time out, and of course we've not seen anybody get 2 rides and 2 wins. Steve Smith, the only one that could still do it. He's up against Phil Pittman, Mark Edwards, and it is Phil Pittman that's made the best of the starts as they go into that first bend. Looking for Steve Smith at the moment. He's back in 5th place. There's all sorts of problems on that first bend, but as they come out in front of us, it is Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons that have made the best of the starts. Duncan Tolhurst in a much better position this time, right up there in second place. Mark Edwards up in third. So all 3 of these crews having much better rides this time out. Steve Smith back in 4th place at the moment, looking for a way through. He's got Mark Edwards just in front of him. Oh, Steve Smith tries the outside. He's going all the way round. But at the moment it's Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons that are setting the pace and don't look like being caught. Still Duncan Tolhurst in second place, and Mark Edwards finds a way through at last. He goes down the inside. Steve Smith desperately trying to follow Mark Edwards through on the inside of Duncan Tolhurst, and he does so going into that top bend. It all closes up for that second place. Phil Pittman's gone very wide. I'm sure that Mark Edwards and Steve Smith will have noticed that there's gaps being left there as they come out of that top bend. They're certainly tight into this top bend. There's no way through there. Mark Edwards realising that, closes up going down that back straight. This is where I expect to see a challenge going into this top bend. Steve Smith not losing track of those front two as well. Mark Edwards again, that gap's been left and Mark Edwards is looking for it. It's going to be close to the line, but Phil Pittman gets it. Mark Edwards finishes in second place. Steve Smith and Mick Stace finishing in third. But just the sort of result that Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons wanted. Over race 14, completing all the second leg rides. A win for outfit number 10. Their first win this afternoon, Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons. In second place, outfit number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. In third place, number 12, Steve Smith and Mick Stace. In fourth place, number 17, Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. Fifth place, number 19, Sage and Vince Davis. In sixth place, number 15, John Hiscock and Matt Steep. The winning time, 1:27.02. 1:27.02, that winning time, as we give you the result in German, and then we will see a little bit of track preparation. Nobody, of course, has maintained a maximum. We've got 6 crews that have had heat wins so far. Yes, it's hotting up. We look at race 19. This one's sponsored by R.A. Bowers of Rosemore Road, Parkstone Pool, non-ferrous scrap metal dealers, so if you ever have a need to use them, they are the people, and tell them that you've heard of them through the Ace of Aces program. Looking at race 19, well, I mentioned we've had 6 outfits that have had heat wins. 3 of them appear in race 19. Rustling had a win, of course, first time out. Ivor Matthews had a win second time out, as did Roger Measer second time out. Roger Measer is sitting top of the points at the moment with a second place and a win. Ivor Matthews with a third and a win, and Rustling with a third and a win. They're certainly just 1 point away from them. So it starts to get sorted out when we get into these third and fourth legs. And of course the riders themselves are so very conscious of that. It looks as if we've got problems for Duncan Tolhurst at the moment. Indeed, Duncan running back to the pits, so obviously it appears that Duncan Tolhurst suffered with a flat battery to the ignition system, so that was obviously why there was the quick rush back to the pit area to get another battery and quickly install that. He has already joined the line, so the rest of the outfit's now being called into line for the start of these third leg rides. Of course, you remember back to those second leg rides, and it was Ivor Matthews that had a brilliant start. And if you remember the interview that Roscoe had with some of the sidecar crews, I want to mention, as always, I think with these outfits, what use of tyres are being preferred. Duncan Tolhurst making a brilliant start this time. It's him that gets to the front. That new battery obviously working wonders for Duncan Tolhurst. Ivor Matthews is right up there with him though as he gets into that first bend. Roger Measer comes in third place. And as they come past me for the first time, Ivor Matthews has taken over the lead from Duncan Tolhurst. Roger Measer goes after them as well. At the moment, Rustling fighting to get through into fourth place and does so on that pit bend. Goes down the back straight, seeing those front 3 going away from him. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that was just a wheel disc that flew off there on the far side. The sidecar wheel was fully intact by the look of it, and in fact confirmed that it was Roger Measer's wheel cover that we lost on that far side, but making no difference to him at all at the moment as he's trying desperately to catch Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. Well, they're certainly starting to come on form. They of course hold the title of being last year's winners. Watch them come round off this top bend. It's into the last lap they go this time. Roger Measer still there in second place, desperately trying to get on terms with Ivor Matthews, and Duncan Tolhurst has got back into that third. But Rustling now goes round the outside of them as they go down that back straight. Those two outfits almost together as they go past us, but as we look to see them go into that top bend, as it gets close for first, it's getting even closer for third place. Ivor Matthews just about hangs on to the win. Roger Misa there in second place, but only just. And it was very, very close for that third spot as well. Well, it looks as if Roger Misa thinks the race isn't over yet. Outfit number 1, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. In second place then goes outfit number 2, Roger Misa and Shane Lapham. Third place to outfit number 3, Rustling and Paul Urich. Winning that battle for third means in fourth place we have outfit number 17, Duncan Tolhurst and Paul Baisby. Fifth place goes to number 19, Adrian Davis and Vince Davis, and sixth place number 18, Richard Thomas and Kevin Woodley. The winning time 126.16 over Falk Truck Centre. Main agents for Mitsubishi and Hammack Reach Truck Sales and Hire. And an interesting one in prospect, because I mentioned that prior to these third legs we have had 6 outfits that have had heat wins, with 3 of them we saw in race 19, the other 3 go in race 21. So we are going to get yet another crew to get a heat win from race 20. John Halsey's had a second and a third, Alan Blewett's had a second and a fourth, Rob Winterburn with a third and a fourth, and Rob Wilson with a fourth and a second place. So 3 outfits that have had second places, but all yet to have a heat win. Again, delays getting all the outfits onto that start line. Oh, away we go, and looking across that far side, it looks as if John Halsey has missed the start, so he's got a lot of work to do. But as we get into that first turn, it is yesterday's qualifying winner Terry Phillips and Chris Spires that takes the lead. Rob Wilson has gone the long way round, and he's been taken very, very wide. Rob and Chris Winterburn have come through on the inside, up into third place. Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf trying to get up into third. Rob Wilson looking again for that outside line. Still Terry Phillips and Chris Spires lead though from Rob and Chris Winterburn in second place, and Rob looking to find a way round. He's forced to go for that outside line again. Rob Wilson closing up much tighter this time, and is now getting through into second place as Rob Winterburn is pushed wide. But Rob Winterburn has ridden a terrific bend and he stays wide. He goes after Terry Phillips again. Rob Wilson trying to get through on the inside. Rob Winterburn getting very close to the back wheel of Terry Phillips, and problems for Rob Winterburn as he falls out on the far side. It now means that Rob Wilson and Tony Miles have moved to the front. Terry Phillips still there in second place. Alan Blewett trying to get back on the scene in third place at the moment. And very disappointing for John Halsey at the moment after missing that start. He's not been able to make up the ground on the rest of the field. As we look to the far side, Rob Wilson taking full advantage on this lead now as he pulls out the gaps and goes down that back straight into the top bend. For the last time in this heat as he comes around off the hill, he's going to take his first race victory of the afternoon. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles take it. Alan Blewett's pushed through into second place. Terry Phillips back in third. John Hiscock finishing in fourth, and John Halsey in fifth. Way to win for outfit number 6, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Their first win of the afternoon. In second place, outfit number 4, Alan and John, nearly said it didn't I, Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. In third place, number 16, that is of course Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. In fourth place, number 15, John Hiscock and Matt Sleep. And in fifth place, number 14, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. The winning time, 126.87. That point again, 3 outfits that have had wins Steve Smith had a win first time out, followed it with a third. Phil Pittman had a fourth first time out and then followed it with a win. Rob Bradley had a win first time out and then disappointingly a fifth place in his second ride. Mark Edwards goes in this one, he's had a fifth and a second place. Dave Steer very consistently a third and a second. Promises to be an interesting one. It's now getting to the point where these points are starting to get sorted out. Now Rob Bradley is on that far outside gate. He now comes into line. Steve Smith right on the inside. Well, at the moment, only 5 outfits on the line that I can see. Away we go, and indeed we have got all 6 outfits as they get underway. Rob Bradley has made another brilliant start. Phil Pittman goes with him as they go into that first bend. As it starts to close up in that first bend, it's Rob Bradley that's been forced wide. Will he manage to maintain that lead? As he comes by me, is getting very, very close. Dave Steer is right up there on the inside. And Dave Steer pushing his way through in that pit bend. He's taken the inside line and taken full advantage of it as goes down that back straight, leading from Rob and Jeff Bradley. Royce Fredbury is up in third, and Steve Smith now moving through. He goes through the inside of Phil Pittman and Royce Fredbury in one sweet move as he goes down that back straight. Dave Steer then, still with the race win. Jeff Bradley still there in second. Steve Smith now right on the back wheel of Rob Bradley, and Rob Bradley puts it sideways. Steve Smith takes avoiding action. That's of course slowed him for the exit of the bend, but he now picks up speed going down that back straight. He'll close going into this top corner, I'm sure. Rob Bradley goes for the wide line. Well, he's gone very, very wide, and Steve Smith has seen it, and he's got the advantage. He's on the inside of Rob Bradley. Rob has a quick look over his shoulder. He knows that Steve Smith is there, and now Steve Smith goes through. And he goes up into second place. Rob Bradley is quick down that part of the circuit, so he stays with Steve Smith at the moment. Terrific scrap being fought out for that 4th, 5th and 6th place. 3 outfits together. Where do you keep your eyes at the moment? Well, as they come towards the checker flag, it's going to be a race victory for Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. Steve Smith takes another 2nd place. Rob Bradley takes a 3rd. And then I think I'll wait for the lap scores to confirm what the other places were. It is outfit number 9 taking first place. That's Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. In second place is outfit number 12, Steve Smith and Mick Stace. In third place, number 7 is Rob and Jeff Bradley. In fourth place, number 10, Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons. In fifth place, number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. And in sixth place, number 11, Royce Fredbury and Steve Kensington. The winning time, 1:26.59. 1:26.59. It was going to be tight, it was going to be close, but would you have expected after 9 heats that we've had 8 heat winners? Absolutely incredible. 8 heat winners from just 9 heats. It means that the points are so close that it's all going to be decided on this fourth leg. There is just 5 points by my very unofficial reckoning between top of the points chart to, would you believe, right the way down to 11th place. Absolutely incredible that it's turned out this close. They go from Matthews and Meter on 16 points, Steer and Smith on 15, Wilson on 14, Ing on 14. It is all so close, and they all must know that they've got to do well in this last ride as we get underway with race 26 and going into that first bend. One rider that knows he needs a good result in this one is Alan Fluid, as he's got to the front going down that first straight. Rob Bradley's had some good results so far. He knows a good ride in this one will get him into the final. He goes into second place. Ivor Matthews on top points at the moment. Goes into second place, does he, as he comes down with that bend. Indeed, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones do move up into second place. John Halsey knows he needs a very good result in this one and moves up into third place, but still the lead with Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. They lead from Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. John Halsey has moved up into third. Duncan Torres now looking to attack Rob Bradley as well. He moves up into fourth place, and Ivor Matthews has closed up on Alan Blewett. So Ivor Matthews, the only driver with 2 wins from 3 rides. He moves round the outside this time on this top bend. He's going a long way round and he's got in front. A tremendous corner from Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. They've got themselves to the front. And this was exactly the result they wanted to get. They are, of course, the defending champions of the Ace of Aces, and they would love to get into that final and do it again on such excellent race conditions that we've seen here this afternoon. They come round towards the checker flag, and that's going to complete 4 rides for them, and it means 3 wins. So they're sure of a place in the final. Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf have got to watch to see how all the other results pan out. John Halsey and Jason Gunny finish in 3rd place, Rob Bradley in 4th. But it really is that close on overall point. It's as a win for outfit number 1, that is Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. In 2nd place, number 4 is Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. 3rd place, number 14, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. And 4th place, number 7, Rob and Jeff Bradley. 5th place, number 17, Duncan Tolhurst. And in 6th place, number 10, that of course is Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons. The winning time, 1:27.32, 1:27.32 by Penton Citroen and Penton Corner Wayhill. They're of course the Citroen main agents, as you can see from the programme. We've got Roger Mesa, who's had 2 second places and a win. We've got Rob Winterburn, who we know had problems in his last ride. We're looking to see if he has appeared for this one. Are anxiously looking across that start line. I can see that they are indeed on the start line. Mark Edwards, who's not had the best of days, he's had a terrific season, but this afternoon things not going his way. 2nd place, his best result from his previous 3 rides. He's had 2 5th places as well. Roger Mesa will be conscious, of course, that he was equal on points with Ivor Matthews going into this 4th ride. He will be desperately wanting to get a heat win and equal points going into that final. The starters let them go up, go the tapes. Looking to see who's made the best of the starts. It's Mark Edwards has made a good start this time. Roger Mesa goes after him, and it's Mesa on the inside as they go into the first bend. Mark Edwards just had the advantage going into that bend, but they're together as they come round the apex of the bend, and up past me for the first time it's Roger Mesa and Shane Lapham that have got to the front. Mark Edwards and Nick Walters start into 2nd place. Rob Winterburn is in 3rd. Richard Thomas moves up into 4th place. That's indeed how they pan out, going down that back straight for the 2nd time, as Roger Mesa and Shane Lapham would so desperately want to have a heat win this time. This is the last race before they go into the big final at the end of the day. Mark Edwards and Nick Walters still there in 2nd place. It's all starting to close up for that 4th, 5th and 6th place. You can see Richard Thomas has turned it round in front of John Hiscock. Obviously you can see yellow flags going out straight away, and the clerk of the course, in the interest of safety, putting the red flag out. Obviously we've still got an outfit on that top end. The riders being slowed down. The first race that we've had stopped this afternoon, but all those crews will have to go back to the start line and do it again. So the riders back in line for the start, or restart I should say, of race 27, and we quickly get them underway. Mark Edwards once again has made a good start, but Roger Mesa has gone with him, and it's those two again that go into that first bend. Rob Winterburn fighting for that 3rd place. Royce Bredbury going the long way round, tries to go around the outside of Mark Edwards, going very, very wide, but Roger Mesa it is that leads as he comes past me. Mark Edwards and Nick Walters up in 2nd place. Still that scrap going on for 3rd between Royce Bredbury and Steve Kensington and Rob and Chris Winterburn. Royce Bredbury again going very, very wide. Rob and Chris Winterburn closing up on them as they go into this bend. Oh, Roger Mesa it is that still leads, and he was leading the race, of course, before it was stopped. So we're happy that he's got himself back into that position. And I'm sure would love to realise that he's on equal points if he stays in this winning position going into that final. Important, of course, that although the points don't get carried through into the final, they do allocate who gets choice of gate. And if there has been any advantage at all on that start gate this afternoon, then that can be a critical factor. So Roger Mesa trying to open up the gaps, but Mark Edwards staying reasonably close to him. As you heard him say to Roscoe a few moments ago that he had had problems earlier on with the machinery. It looks as if he has now sorted it out. We wonder if that's going to put him in good stead for that B final. Roger Mesa then it is that takes the win. Mark Edwards in 2nd place. Royce Bredbury finishing in 3rd. I'm sure that Roger Meeser's crew will be pleased to hear that. It was a win for outfit number 2, Roger Meeser and Shane Lapham. In second place, number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. In third place, number 11, Roy Spreadbury and Steve Kenchington. And fourth place, number 5, Rob and Chris Winterburn. Fifth place goes to number 15, John Hiscock and Matt Sleep. And that winning time, 125.34. 125.34. And so, riders that have done their arithmetic know exactly what they're going to do in this one. If you look at the lineup, Russell Ing has had a win and 2/3. Rob Wilson a 4th, a 2nd and a win. Dave Steer a 3rd, a 2nd and a win. Steve Smith a win, a 3rd and a 2nd place. It's all very, very close on points. Any one of those 4 could possibly win this one, and that will make a lot of difference to the overall point situation depending on how these 4 finish. I'm sure they all know that this is a very, very important one for them. Russell Ing is the one that's got that tight inside gate. Dave Steer right in the middle where he prefers to be. Steve Smith just next to him on that centre spindle. Again, a few moments while they get settled on that start line. Well, in fact, problems with Steve Smith's outfit at the moment. Mechanics frantically working on that bike. Can't see what the problem is. He quickly runs away. Tapes go and we get underway with this, the last of the qualifying rise, and it's Dave Steer that's made the best of the starts at the moment. As they go into that first corner, Terry Phillips has made a good start as well. He's gone the long way round, and we've lost Steve Smith on that first bend. Well, Dave Steer it is that's got the lead, but again, in the interest of safety, you can see that the clerk of the course has put the red flag out. So all 5 of those outfits will have to go back to that start line. But unfortunately, going into that bend, as you can all see, we've lost Steve Smith and Mick Stace. Mick, I can see, was quickly up on his feet. And I've now been told that Steve Smith also is on his feet. Now coming round by us, and obviously none the worse for wear from that tumble in the first bend. See the officials calling them back into line. Just Terry Phillips still left to come into line. He goes to that far outside, pulls the outfit round, started bringing them under starters' orders. Tapes go up and away we go with a clean restart of this, the last qualifying race. As we look to that first bend, it's once again Dave Steer that's got to the front. Rob Wilson has gone around the outside of him going into that first bend. Steve Smith is up in 3rd place, but it's all starting to get very, very close as they come round past me. Dave Steer and Andy Orchard still lead from Rob Wilson and Tony Miles in 2nd. Russell Ing trying to get through into that 3rd place. But Steve Smith at the moment has still got 3rd. Russell Ing again looks for a way round, follows Steve Smith closely down that back straight. As he starts to close up on Rob Wilson, Dave Steer is moving away, and Dave Steer looks very much in control at the moment. He's got faster and faster as the afternoon's gone on. Already had 1 race win. That was in his 3rd ride. Previous to that, he's had 3rds and 2nds, so he's been piling on the points. And remind you, of course, that Dave Steer did get himself up onto the rostrum in 1993. He finished 3rd behind Steve Smith and Roger Meeser in that year. Oh, what's it going to be for 1995 as we see the completion of this, the last qualifying leg, and Dave Steer is still leading from Rob Wilson in 2nd, Steve Smith in 3rd at the moment, Russell Ing holding 4th, Terry Phillips in 5th. Does it stay like that, or is Steve Smith going to get through? He gets close again to Rob Wilson. And as we come towards the checker flag this time. Dave Steer slows in that top bend, but very much in control. Comes to the line. Steve Smith still looking for that second. It's going to be close, but Rob Wilson hangs on to it. Steve Smith in third, Russelling in fourth, but that's terrific ride from Dave Steer and Andy Orchard, and I feel sure that's got them a place in the big A final. Sponsored by Penton Toyota, a win for outfit number 9, that is of course Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. In second place, outfit number 6. And of course it's Rob Wilson and Tony Miles, and third place, number 12, Steve Smith and Mick Stace. Fourth place there, number 3, Russelling and Paul Urich, and fifth place, number 16, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. Sixth place, number 19, Sage Davis and Vince Davis. The winning time, 126.76. 126.76. Consolation final sponsored by Graham Hardy Motorfacts Unit C1, the Premier Centre. That's of course in Romsey. Wholesalers of all motor accessories to the trade. Well, this, the consolation final it might be, but so easily this could have been any big final around the country. Rob Bradley, John Halsey, Mark Edwards, Phil Pittman, Rob Winterburn and Terry Phillips. If you missed those numbers earlier on when I was giving them out, they are number 7, 14, 8, 10, 5 and 16, but it really was so close on points with the sidecars. Just a couple of slightly different positions, and any one of these riders could have elevated themselves up into that A final. One apology that's come from the camp of Russelling. They had qualified for this final, but feeling a little bit tired was the comment. He's decided to not go in the final, so leaving it to the other 6 crews. So those of you that have enjoyed seeing Russell back again, which he certainly looks as if he's lost none of his old form, finding that after 4 races, it gets a bit tough going. We start with the consolation final. I can see the starter doesn't look happy with that. So the yellow flags is going out. So all the crews will have to go back to that start. The clerk of the course bringing the race to a stop for the starters to bring them under starters' orders. Away go the tapes this time. This looks like a clean one. The starter's happy with this one as they go down the back straight. It's Jeff Bradley that made a good start. Terry Phillips is up there again. As they go into this first bend, it is Rob and Jeff Bradley that have got the lead from John Halsey, now up in second place. But once again the starter not happy with things. The clerk of the course bringing the race to a halt. A lot more room on that start line. All 4 of them already there. Starters again pulling them up to the tapes. Starter happy, moves away go the tapes, and this time we get a clean start. Terry Phillips looks to have made a good start, but Rob Bradley comes flying through once again. Rob and Jeff Bradley it is that lead going into that first bend. Terry Phillips right up there with them. Rob and Chris Winterburn trying to get round the outside. Up past me for the first time they go, and it's Rob and Jeff Bradley that have established themselves in front. Terry Phillips desperately trying to stay with them. Phil Pittman trying to work his way through as well. Rob and Chris Winterburn also there close to the back wheel on Terry Phillips. As they go down the back straight, you can see that Rob and Jeff Bradley look to have this one under control as they've just missed out on qualifying for the A final. But comfortably lead at the moment. Rob Winterburn desperately trying to get through on the inside of Terry Phillips. Rob that's moved through, he goes up into second place, and Phil Pittman tries to follow him as well. He goes up into third place, but still going into the last lap it's Rob and Jeff Bradley that lead. Well, he started his career and did very successfully as a 500cc solo competitor. It's great to see that just after 2 seasons he's competing well in the sidecar class. Phil Pittman looking to get up into second. Phil Pittman moves through on the inside of Rob and Chris Winterburn. They're up into second. And as the checker flag is made ready, and it's going to be a win in the consolation final for outfit number 7, Rob and Jeff Bradley. Phil Pittman and Miles Simmons finish in second place. Rob and Chris Winterburn finish in third. Terry Phillips finishing in fourth. Of Aces final, a win for outfit number 7. That's Rob and Jeff Bradley. In second place, outfit number 10, Phil Pitman and Miles Simmons. In third place, number 5, Rob and Chris Winterburn. In fourth place, number 16, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. The winning time, 1:28.48, 1:28.48. I'll remind you, of course, that Steve Smith appears in this final again. He has the most titles of the Ace of Aces. He's won it in 1982, 84, 89. He was third in 1990 and he won it again in 1993. 4 titles overall. Roger Misa has really been the one who's been so close all the time. He's won it once back in 87, he was second in 88, second in 89, and second to Steve Smith in 93. Now Dave Steer, we know, has been on the roster and back in 1993. He was third then. Alan and John Blewett finished third in 1992, so a great collection of experienced crews competing for the 1995 title. Now we look across that far side and they are pulling the last of the crews into line. I can see that Roger Misa and Ivor Matthews have taken these inside gates. Steve Smith right on the far outside. The starters at the moment not happy with Steve Smith touching the tapes. Dave Steer, interesting enough, has taken that inside line in the middle of 1995. They're obviously all conscious of that this start's so important. The starters put their arms up, they bring them all up under starters' orders, bringing them towards the tapes. Starter happy with that, they move away, the tapes go, and as they get underway we look to see who's made the best of the starts. It's Alan Blewett has made the best of the starts once again. Dave Steer has gone with him. Ivor Matthews back in third place. Rob Wilson going the long way round and trying to get round the outside. Roger Misa is up there on the inside as well, but at the moment it's Dave Steer fighting it out with Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf it is that lead going into this pit bend for the first time, and Dave Steer and Andy Orchard move through in the front. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles in third place at the moment. Roger Misa now moving through though, and Roger Misa comes up the inside. Will he get that third place? Alan Blewett again goes round the outside to try and get the lead. Rob Wilson comes between the two of them, and Rob Wilson now moves up into second place and goes after Dave Steer. Roger Misa moving up on the inside. What's going to be the 1, 2, 3 as they come across the line as Dave Steer and Andy Orchard hold the lead, but only just from Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Roger Misa and Shane Lapham move into third place, and it gets close again in this top bend as Rob Wilson goes round the outside. Rob Wilson is going for the lead as he comes past me. Still, Dave Steer just has it with Rob Wilson with a slight advantage perhaps going into that top bend. He's got the lead as he goes around that top corner, and as he goes down the back straight it is Rob Wilson and Tony Miles that lead. Dave Steer comes back at him again as he goes underneath into this last bend. Terrific last bend as they come round towards us, and this is going to be the checkered flag. This is going to be the Ace of Aces title. It's Rob Wilson, Tony Miles winning him on, and Rob Wilson does it. Tremendous afternoon's racing of sidecar competition, but would you have said Rob Wilson at the beginning of the day would take the 1995 total? He will be ecstatic with that one, because you would never expected the quiet Rob Wilson to have taken the 1995 trophy, but he's done it. 127.03, 127.03. In second was outfit number 9, Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. In third place, number 2, Roger Misa and Shane Lapham. Fourth place there, outfit number 1, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. And in fifth place, number 12, Steve Smith and Mick Stace. The only other finisher there, in sixth place, number 4, Alan Blewett and Barry Metcalf. Right, we've got all the bits and pieces. As I mentioned a few moments ago, I think you'll agree with me that we have seen some fantastic sidecar racing. I'm totally going to ignore what Mr. Bartley's trying to signal to me, because he knows that we've done this before. And I think you'll agree that we've got 3 crews coming up here that have not had an easy task this afternoon. Some very, very hard racing. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. The one thing with the Ace of Aces is that you've got to have the conditions perfect. We couldn't have had them any more perfect than we had this afternoon. It brought terrific racing. It means that we've got 3 very worthy winning crews. And we start, as always, with third place. And it was, of course, Roger Misa and Shane Lapham. up here. There's an argument about something too big, but I can't work out exactly what they were on about. That's it, Roger's stuck. Now rigor mortis is setting in. Look, the arthritis is giving him hell. No, Roger, that was not a good place to put the champagne bottle. I don't believe this. This is only third place. Yeah, you're alright there, I think. Right, we've got third place. We now, of course, move on to second and what almost a magical fairy tale story that this is possibly going to be. I said yesterday that they were here for practice. They blew an engine apart. They were then scrounging around the rest of the pit to see who could lend them an engine. It was discovered that Robbie Wilson Jr. had an engine in his machine down in Kent. So off they trotted down to Kent, they ripped the engine out of Robbie Wilson's machine, they travelled back to Sussex, today's workshop, put it in, and today it's all come right. They almost had the victory, but as it is, they're in second place. Dave Steer and Andy Orchard! Taken, that of course was the second place, and as I say, almost one of those motor racing fairy tales come true. Well, it moves me on to say that we've just got first place to get up here. We want to call up the winners of the 1995 Ace of Aces, and I've always been very rude to these boys. I've got to be honest and say that I've at times called them those that don't quite make it. They're always finishing in second place, but they pulled it off this afternoon. The winners of the 1995 Ace of Aces sidecar competition, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Did you see that? He wasn't even used to where to go to them. Somebody had to direct him up to the top spot. The comment that was made then was that it's just not safe up here. I've been warning the girls of that all afternoon. So is that it? The last of the photographs? Can we perhaps have a quick word with some of these boys? I'll start obviously over here on third place. Now you have to be careful around here. No, I'm not going to say a word. No, I won't be rude. Roger, I've got to start with you. Obviously, a tremendous season, and perhaps this could have been the one trophy you've been after for a long, long time. It looked like it could have been yours.
Oh yes, and I think you'll agree that the racing was fast and furious. I think we got sucked into trying to sort of worry about one or two of us that thought we were going to win, and we forgot about Robbie that was always likely to win. And I had a grandstand seat of his overtaking manoeuvre of Dave Steer, and that must have been the most tremendous thing I've ever seen anybody go so fast around the outside. I don't think Dave expected it, and as I say, I had a grandstand seat. It was a pleasure to watch. The trouble is I wasn't going fast enough to catch up.
Well, that's absolutely right, Roger, and of course I'll have a quick word with Dave over the side here before I come to you two. Mr. Steer, obviously we need to have a word because, yes, there was a lot of the midnight oil grab last night.
I'd just like to say very thank you to my mechanics who worked after night for me, and Robert, thank you very much.
Well, obviously a great big thank you going to Robbie Jr. there, of course, for lending that engine. And as David quite rightly said, well, I've now got to have a word with these two. Is it embarrassing to say that I'm not used to talking to you two up here? But no, I'll start with you, Tony, obviously passenger this afternoon. After that disastrous first ride, you must have been thinking perhaps not again.
Yeah, we thought we had a lovely in the first heat, and then I thought we put the speedway tyre in, and we had the speedway tyre. Steam the car on better, right, on the speedway tyre.
So there again is the secret, changing over the right tyres. It's obviously somebody trying to pinch my worthless wallet. Rob, what can I say? It's always deemed as being, dare I say it, the one big trophy to win, and now you've done it.
Yeah, very much so. You know, it's good to win it, but to be honest with you, it's good to win anything, to be honest with you. Not just the 80, it's good to win them all. And obviously we don't. We've been final. We burned the ball there, but today obviously it's come right at long last.
Well, indeed, it did come right. I think you'll agree that with the sidecar racing we've seen this afternoon, we have seen some of the most tremendous sidecar racing. Hold on, Roger wants another word, I think.
I think you'll all agree when you know how fitting it is for Rob Wilson to win, because not only did he win on his bike, but he led Dave Engine, Jay Steer and Engine from yesterday, which you probably all know about. I've been borrowing spares off him all day, so perhaps if we borrow everything off him, we won't be able to win much more.
No, there's still keep something in reserve, obviously. Well, indeed, let's give you one more big cheer to all three of our winning crews. Third, it was Roger Meester and Shane Lappel. Second, it was Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. For the winners this year was Rob Wilson and Danny Miles. Well, it wouldn't be a motor racing event if that sort of thing didn't happen, would it? Yes, I know, we get used to this sort of thing.